Welcome in. Today we have a special little um, training class that I want to do. I want to talk about this post here that Min made a couple of days ago. He was talking about somebody who didn't give a good review because of what sounded like some issues that they had on their own of actually bidding. So the review here talked about her wanting to bid at $150 for a weekly quote of 2,000 square feet. Um, and there was some conversations afterwards talking about that, being, the people saying that she was bidding too high and different things like this. But I want to talk about how this particular person she actually shot herself in the foot. I'm going to assume she bids mostly on residential just by a couple of things. One of which is she was trying to bid a weekly basis instead of on a monthly basis. Um, businesses build their budgets around a monthly basis. If you're bidding on a weekly basis and their price is going to fluctuate up and down every month, I'm going to beat you every time when I'm bidding against you because I'm going to tell you how inconvenient that's going to be for you. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to make your life easier because I'm going to bid you a flat fee and it's that fee every month. It's not going to be some fluctuating up and down every month of inconsistency. So I wanted to talk about a few things that I noticed right offhand that probably added to the fact that this account wasn't closed. One of which is she was bidding on a weekly basis instead of on a monthly basis. By the things that she talked about, she originally wanted to bid at $300 a week for a 2,000 square foot facility. Apparently, she thinks cleaning, we should be making $200 an hour or $150 an hour because the math doesn't work that way. It's a 2,000 square foot facility. By all stretch of the imagination, unless there's some ongoing different circumstances, this is an hour to clean, less than most likely, but it's an hour to clean. So what if, so I reached out to Min and I said, "Hey, why don't you give me some other info on this job so we can shoot a training video for everybody and talk about it." So he gave me the location of it, and then he gave me some information on the square footage, which he was saying 2,000 to 3,000. It looks like she established on the walkthrough that it was 2,000. And there didn't look, as I looked through here, like it was going to be that big of a thing. It wasn't a manufacturing. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary that would take an exceptional amount of time to do. So I think this person just went in thinking, I don't know what you'd think, that 2,000 square feet would take you 5 hours to clean 2,000 square feet. I'm not sure, but I can tell you that, yeah, as a customer, you would be shocked thinking, okay, I'm going to get a bid of maybe 350, and you're saying it's going to be 750 some months. That's a big thing. That's a big shock. So I guess where I'm going in this video is a couple of things. One of which, if you know you're going to be higher than the customer, then get them warmed up to it. If I know I'm going to be higher, or they come in and they call me and they say, "Hey, Josh, I've got a 2,000 square foot facility, once a week clean. I'm going to just say, okay, this is what my minimum price is for a once a week clean. Fill in the blank. Because I know 2,000 square feet falls under my minimum amount of square footage that I'm going to clean per week. So I have a set price. Anything less than that could be 500 square feet, go all the way up to 2,000 square feet. I know what that price is. It's the same. So I'm going to warm them up to it to begin with. Before I go out there, before we talk about anything else, my price, this falls into my minimum price category structure, and that's this dollar amount. So maybe that's $400. Maybe that's $200 to you. It depends on where you are in the country. There are places that it is $500-$600, but I don't think by what I read that's the area that it's $500-$600. Probably somewhere around 350 would have probably been spot on. But you're saying 350 you're cleaning every week for $350 per month. She wants to clean every week at $300 per week, $1,200 per month. She's going to reduce it to $600 per month, $750 some months. So I'm sure a customer would be shocked and awed, because if they're reaching out and they reach out to me maybe, and I'm like, hey, I'm at 350, she's at 150 per week. So some months it's 600, some months it's 750. Yeah, they're going to be shocked. They're going to be appalled. They're not going to go with you unless you're producing something that nobody else can do. So if you are, great. You need to highlight that. You need to make sure that you're highlighting every bit of what makes you better. Because if you can charge that much, good, do it. You should. But if you're going to complain that you're not getting jobs because you're charging that much, then you need to figure out what you're doing wrong. Because either you're charging too much or you're not delivering enough value. One of the two, you have to choose what it is. At the end of the day, you're going to lose quite a bit if you're higher. Even if you're offering great value, you're offering great things, you're going to lose more bids than you get. So if you're on the higher echelon, you're going to know you're going to put out more bids before you close. Your closing rate's going to be lower, but your profit margin is going to be higher. So if that's this person's strategy, that's awesome. That's great. But own that it's your strategy. Own the fact that you can't close 100%. Nobody can close 100%, no matter how good you are. You're not closing 100% of the time. And if you are closing in excess of probably 50% of the time, you're probably charging too little. That goes the other way too. If you are closing less than 30% of the time, less than 20% of the time, you're probably on the higher echelon. That's okay. As long as you're okay with that, that's okay. But you can't bid once, be rejected once, and assume that it's all garbage. You have to actually own the process. So own the process, whatever that is. You want to charge higher? Super. Your close rate's going to be lower. You want to charge lower? Super. Your close rate is probably going to be higher. At the end of the day, you may be closing 6 or 7 times as many as the other guy. They may be making higher profit at the end. It really doesn't matter. It depends on your business structure. What does matter is knowing how to bid properly. If you're bidding your cleaning service at $150 or more per hour, you need to be picking the clientele that will be paying you that. And you're not going to be closing 100% of the time, or 50% of the time, or 40% of the time. You're probably going to be closing less than 20% of the time. So just know it. Pick your road that best fits your business structure and follow it. So that's, I guess, me on my shoebox today. But at the end of the day, you have to understand your production rate so that you can build value around that. It's really hard if you don't know your production rate, or you think your production rate is so off because either you think your value is $150 per hour, or you think your production rate you can only clean what 250 square feet per hour. This is not a construction cleanup. This is just an ongoing janitorial job. You should be in excess of 1,500 in almost every situation, probably in excess of 2,500 in several situations. So know what your bidding structure is, know how to bid it. And if your hourly rate is higher, that's fine. Articulate it to your customer and hone in on only those type of customers, and know that if you're higher than competitors, you're most likely going to close less.